our guest is Jose Benitez, who is the CEO and co-founder of Secmotic. And this is a Spanish-based IoT company which concentrates on innovation, development, and IT security. So welcome, Jose. Nice to have you here with us today. And
thank you very much.
You're also a FIWARE Foundation Board of Directors member since 2018. So thanks therefore also for your commitment to be part of the FIWARE Foundation in every way. And yeah, our first question to you would be, when did you join the initiative of FIWARE Evangelists, and how was the story behind it? How did you like it until now?
Yeah, well, I joined the FIWARE Evangelists initiatives the moment it was launched, as far as I can remember. From the very beginning of FIWARE, I was deeply involved in the technology, so I started researching it with my team at Secmotic. And once we started launching different kind of projects and initiatives, we really saw the potential that FIWARE had, and also the gap that it was filling in the market, because it was actually a real gap. So we saw an opportunity to make business around it, but nobody knew about this technology. Everybody was kind of telling me it's spelled firmware or it's firewall. Also Google did that. So I understood in that very moment that somehow I needed to give evidence to the business guys in public administrations or in private companies about this gap that FIWARE was covering. So at the end of the day, I was doing that unconsciously, the evangelist task. So that's why I became an evangelist in the first moment. And the moment I saw the initiative, like, please join us as an evangelist, I was like signing up for this.
Yeah, great. And it even led to being a member of the board of directors, which is, I think, also a great way to concentrate on this strategy of FIWARE and not only bringing it to businesses but also helping to shape the strategy of FIWARE itself. Really great. And what would you consider the most important point someone should bring if he or she wants to be a FIWARE evangelist?
Well, it really depends from my point of view. You can be, of course, a technical evangelist, as we have discussed before, but you can be a business evangelist, for example, or among other areas in the companies. But I think that the most important point is, because I'm really technical, is to know how the generic enables are available in the catalog, how can they integrated, and which one are the ones that provide solutions to which problems. Because at the end of the day, FIWARE is a technology. You have to know something about technology. So also be able to explain it with some kind of detail to the business area you're addressing, technical, business, marketing, whatever. It is very important to be able to give that explanation. And for doing that, you have to have a really deep knowledge about the technology. But I also think it is very important to be up to date with FIWARE. Technology in our world changes very, very quickly. So you need to keep track of the news in the FIWARE ecosystem, in this case, and its roadmap. And what better way to achieve this than assisting to the events like this FIWARE Smart Fest, or engaging with the FIWARE ecosystem. I think those are the two main skills that an evangelist need to have to be good at this job.
Okay, thank you. Maybe as you're here now, could you give us a quick example on how you convinced someone to use FIWARE technology, or just a really concrete example? That would be great.
Like elevator pitch. If you had to come in on an elevator pitch and sell FIWARE, just how would you do
it? That's a really good question. You have to go to the core of FIWARE. Why is FIWARE happening? And it's because you are using open standards. First part, it's open. You don't have to pay for its use. You don't have the vendor lock-in event. You, for example, don't have to be always in Amazon, in Google Cloud, whatsoever. It's completely abstract for that. You don't have the vendor lock-in things that it's open. And also, it relies on open standards. Then if you want to move from one platform to another, or you want to have integrations, FIWARE relays in these standards. So you don't have to translate every time the information if you want to make some integration. Those are one of the main points that FIWARE provides from my point of view. When I say this to the business guys, they really see this value, and they want to know more. And of course, there is a lot more in FIWARE that then you keep engaging the audience with that.
Yeah. Max, if I may do a follow-up question for Benitez, we love having you on anything here because you're so passionate about FIWARE and
Yes.
outspoken. You talked about how you sell FIWARE to a business leader, but what about cities, public administrators? We understand that people have a lot, especially now with a pandemic. There is a lot of the priorities have shifted. How do you come into a city administrator and tell him, look, you should use FIWARE technology and here are the benefits for you when people have so many other priorities?
Yes, this is very, very easy, at least in our administration in Spain. Why? Because they know a lot of FIWARE nowadays, because FIWARE is now a de facto standard in open cities. Spanish government knows this, and they kind of public the tender and they prescribe the FIWARE technology. So that's a really good job done by the FIWARE Foundation and every evangelist, that the public administration, which are not very technical usually, they know about the technology, they prescribe the technology, and they want it. So we don't really need to give a lot of information about this because it's already available. But when I address the public administration, they are like looking for this. If they don't know about the technology, it is really, really important that they have their data without the vendor looking. The same thing I was telling before for example, business guides, private companies or whatsoever, it's applicable to the cities. They don't want to be with a project in 5 years that it's managed for a big corporate, and then they have to migrate the data to another platform, and it will be a mess. If you convince them that it will not be a mess, and this is thanks to the open standards, they will prescribe the technology, and it's happening. So it's not a concept, not something that I'm telling you, it's something that is happening. So that's a thing, basically.
Yeah. No, I think you made a very valid point there. We have just launched last week. We launched the FIWARE for Cities booklet, and we already have over 35 cities in there. We know there are more than 200 cities using FIWARE, and we're now mapping them out. So we see there we are also growing within cities, but it's not always easy. But the benefits are clear. So it's really getting people to be aware of it and to really see the added value that FIWARE brings.
I think also that another milestone regarding this was the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding yesterday with the Open and Agile Smart Cities Network. So I think we can really go on from here. And as Val just said, we have more than 200 cities already using FIWARE technology. And yeah, we should really make sure that we now can show that FIWARE makes an impact in smart cities. And yeah, thank you so much for your insights.
Benitez, if you don't mind, then very briefly, some takeaways from you on, we have a lot of people on here watching now. Why? The big why, I think it all comes to the big why.
Everything related to smart cities, smart context, at the end of the day, context information is going to grow. If we don't make it grow in a tidy way, it's not going to be very successful. So we really, really need to have standards. And if they are open, the better. It's the better solution. And FIWARE does that. They provide the standardization of the data. And we want to grow in this direction. So if you are really, if you trust the technology, if you know the technology, and you can give these insights to the other people, you may want to become an evangelist.
Okay. Well, thank you. This is all we got time for today, I'm afraid. So we have heard about the why, and now here's the how. So if you want to be a FIWARE evangelist, you have connected with, has been said here before, you have the skills, you have the passion, and you have the time. So here's the email address. We're going to add it here later on, press.office@fiware.org. So just contact us and we'll be very thrilled to welcome you on board. So this is the end of our session. I want to say a massive thank you to our guests today. Have a good afternoon, you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.